When we load a new package into R, it provides us additional functions. That is the power of having packages in R. It adds more functions to our collection of functions. Let's take a look at some of the ways that we can explore functions in R. The ls function is for listing, so we can use it to list what functions are available in a package. Let's see what functions are in base R. I loaded ls package base into base functions, and now let's go ahead and view this using the view command. Here I can see the entire list of functions. Notice that some of these functions are operators that we've learned about, as well as infix operators that are part of base R. Let's look at the functions that we now have in the psych package since we installed it. Spoiler alert, this isn't going to work. Here we go. ls package psych. We get an error message. That's because we need to load a package into our current environment before it's available. Right now, our R session doesn't even know that psych exists. We load packages with the library function. Note there are no quotes. An aside, you'll hear packages and then you'll hear libraries. What's the difference? A package is a collection of functions and data. A library is the directory where packages are stored. Thus, we load a package from a library. So here's library psych, and when I run this, now it's loaded. No warning messages. Sometimes you'll get warnings. When that happens, you should read it to make sure there's nothing to be concerned about. Usually there isn't. But sometimes, for example, it will warn you that it has named one of the functions something that you already have named as a function, or perhaps that's even in base R named that way as a function. So read the warnings so you know exactly what's going on. If I want to see what packages are loaded, I can use the session info. So here, I'm going to get session info, and I'm going to store it in loaded packages. When I load this, I see that I have information about the R version. I have information about what's been loaded, and I have information about other packages, including the psych package that was loaded into my environment. That's the only one that I loaded into my environment right now. Everything else was done automatically for me. In RStudio, an easy way to see what packages are loaded is to see which packages are checked off. So if I go to the Packages tab, these are all the packages available to me. But every now and then as I scroll through, I'll see one with a check mark in front of it. There we go. The psych package has been loaded. How do I know? It has a check mark in front of it. Down here under System Library, I see that base, datasets, graphics, these are automatically loaded whenever I load R. So I did not have to load them as separate libraries. I can see exactly what packages have been loaded. Now that we know that the psych package is loaded into our environment, let's go back and try that listing command again. This time I didn't get an error message. Let's go ahead and view psych functions. Now I can look at all the functions that are now available to me in the psych package. Let's go down to the bottom just for grins and see how many there are. 465 functions that are now available to me. Now, with all those functions, you probably want to be able to obtain some information about functions. There are functions to help us with functions. The help function will provide help on other functions. So we've been using ls. If I click on help ls, we can see what ls does. It lists objects for us. It lists the objects that are in our environment. I could have also done it a different way. Let me go back to the home screen here on the help tab and do $ls. Gives me the same thing. So the question mark is an operator that does the same thing as the help function. You can also use this to obtain help about a function that's within a package. We've already loaded the psych package, so let's get help for describe by. Basic summary statistics by group. That looks pretty interesting. I often want to get summary statistics by group, so this might be a very useful function, and I can read the arguments of the function as well as looking at details and some examples. Let's unload the psych package. This is like the opposite of the library. I'm now detaching it. So now the psych package, if I look under packages and go to psych, if I can find it in the midst of all mine, here it is. Notice there's no more check mark. Now another way I could have unloaded this is to just click the check mark. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and put it back in. Now you see the check mark? If I click this check mark, it will unload it. It basically just provides the detach function that I used a moment ago by hand. If we want to look for help on a function without loading the entire package, you can do so. You can actually look for help without loading the package into the environment. I'm going to do that here. Here I'm getting help on describe by, and I'm indicating that the package is psych. There's the same help we saw earlier. Vignettes are written by package authors to provide further information and examples about a function. They often give much more information than the brief help. Sometimes they're even included in a PDF. You can look at what vignettes are available with the Browse Vignettes function. I'm going to browse vignettes for the psych package. When I ran the function, a web page came up, and this is what it looks like. Vignettes in the psych package. There are two of them. Introduction to the psych package and overview of the psych package for psychometrics. Let me click on the first one. This is a lot more than we get just by looking at that one help window. This goes into quite a bit of detail. The help search function, help.search, scans the documentation of loaded packages. Let's go ahead and do a help search on describe by. I'm first going to make sure that the psych package is loaded by clicking on psych, and now it ran the library psych. Now I'm going to do help search describe by. This provided me that it's in the psych package describe by, and I could click on this link and again go back to the help. Well, this is especially useful if the function is a member of a family of functions. Watch when I click help search describe. Now I have the entire family, and describe by is one of them. Now, how did I know to do that? I knew how to do that by looking at the vignette, that PDF I showed you back up here. Back when I was looking at this, I learned about the describe family, which then led me to go ahead and help on describe and see all the different options that are available in that family. I can also do a help.search with double question marks. Just like a single question mark gives you help for a function, the double question mark gives you help.search. So if I now click on double question mark describe, I'm back here to that same window I showed you a moment ago. For even more information on packages, we can see if there's a web page for the package. If there is one and the package is installed, we can use an icon in RStudio to look for it. Go to Packages, go to the little globe icon after the package you're interested in. In this case, I'm choosing R-Color Brewer. Click on it, and you'll get information about that package. This particular information here, I notice, has a reference manual available that I could click on in order to get complete information. So right from within RStudio, there's many ways to go obtain information. And finally, if you ever want to uninstall a package, not just unload the library, unloading the library, detaching the package, is pulling it out of the environment, but it's not taking it off your computer. To uninstall it off your computer, you can do so with a command, a function called remove.packages that I'm showing you here on line 169, or you can go over to the Packages tab and go over to the X, and when I click on this X, it will remove the psych package, asking me if I'm sure. Yes, I am. And now if I go look for that psych package, it's no longer available as one of the packages that are in my R.